everybody. I'm Kalahani Morton.
I'm Dianne Zink.
Yeah. And we're here to check out Dianne's nursery for the Hawaii Island Landscape Association board.
And my nursery is Pua Kala Nursery. We have two locations. This is our Makai location we want to show you first. We have a Mauka location too. We want to show you our demonstration garden. And this is our entryway, and we have a lot of cool plants. We're featuring succulents because they do good in this lower elevation. And there's a lot of lower elevations here in Kona where a lot of these plants could do good. So, yeah, let's get started.
Okay, here we go. What you got going on here?
Well, these, that is for Crea, which is, it's the one in the background.
The variegated.
The variegated one in the background. Yeah. And that is a real bold, kind of bigger succulent that really lends itself to, backgrounds and maybe out of the way places, but it's a very bold succulent. Like when you drive up the street, you can really see that one.
Yeah.
We have, what were you going to say?
That.
Oh, Gracina Draco.
Wow.
That's kind of our little background plant here. That is a succulent tree, very, very slow growing. And it's a beautiful, it gets some nice, beautiful form as it gets older.
Are they from Madagascar?
Yeah, they're from Africa. Yeah.
African Madagascar.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's called dragon's blood too, the common name. I think because of the sap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a really big one before at your Pua Kala Nursery at Malpa, yeah?
Yeah, we had a huge one.
Wow.
And these are all going to grow big. We're going to grow them field stock too.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're working on that.
I really like that plant. And we got seeds too, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
What else you got here? Let me get on this side of you.
So this is Aloe rubro violacea violet. And this is actually one of my favorite plants because when this thing blooms, it's fantastic. And it's a big specimen plant too, the way it grows. I've seen pictures of them growing on hillsides, and so I kind of put it on a hillside. And when I was walking over with this one in a pot, it pretty much fell out of the pot, like it just fell out. And I just stuck it in there, and it did fine. So I kind of mimicked, I think, how it grows in nature, where it's falling over. But this thing is spectacular when it blooms.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then this is agave. It's a real, it's a variegated one. That's agave blue flame, but it's variegated.
Does it have serrated sides?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad though, like the other one I've seen.
And we've done we did one on a job, the all green one, and it really came out beautiful. Yeah.
Cool. The heck?
This one's pretty exciting. Agave Guingola Platinum.
Wow.
And it is one specimen plant. It gets beautiful. It's a gorgeous plant. One of my favorite ones as a specimen. We'll show you more in the interior of the plants. And we also have this one for sale, in little bit smaller pots. And it's one of my favorites.
I noticed your other favorite one has kind of a soft body where it feels gooey like aloe does, but this one doesn't seem like it has much juice in it. It's pretty dry, huh?
Yeah, no.
Leathery.
I mean, it's leathery, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
leathery.
One thing I wanted to bring up about all these plants, most succulents hold a lot of water. Like if you lift up the pots, it's full with water. And so that helps it, retard any fires because they're full of water.
Good one.
This is an aloe tree. It used to be called Aloe tongaensis. And it has a new name, Allodendron tongaensis, but it's a true aloe tree, and it's really cool. It actually grows from cuttings, and what do you call it? Dr. Seuss? Is this
it's a Dr. Seuss, and it kind of looks like a hala tree too, right? Lauhala. In its body look, the way it does, its body form.
Yeah, I think it's really a cool plant.
This is the inflorescence?
Yeah.
Fall flower?
Yeah, I know most
you
aloes.
propagate this?
No, that's kind of not a good seed pod, but it propagates just by cuttings.
Oh, easy.
And most of the aloes fruit in the wintertime, in December. So that's a nice thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Dianne, what is that?
That's Oncarina, and that is a succulent tree from Madagascar.
Wow.
That Kaz Shigezawa introduced to Kona. And it's a really cool plant. It flowers all the time. Doesn't need any water. really stoked that he brought this colorful plant in as a succulent tree. It doesn't really show the trunk, but it has a real thick trunk, kind of like desert rose.
Are there any bugs that are attracted to this plant?
You know what? I haven't seen any problems with that plant as far as
I see some small critters over there, but they don't look like they're damaging anything. Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't think it has a lot of. It doesn't have a lot of bug problems.
That's a nice desert rose.
Yeah, desert rose. They're one colorful thing. They really brighten up the landscape, because when you're looking at succulent landscapes, you know, the flowers really brighten the landscape. The flowers of the oncorina and the flowers of the desert rose and the flowers of the crown of thorns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is basically a high mountain plant from the dry high mountain of Chile, right? It's Chile.
I think it's
Chile?
more the like northern Africa and the peninsula above there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, what about this side? Let's check this out.
So Kaz Shigezawa helped us design this plant. This is our demonstration garden. And we started this maybe 2 years ago. And so my partner Flynn Baggs and I worked with Kaz, and he's really the one who inspired me to do succulents. He's a landscape architect. A lot of people know him. He's an old timer here in Kona. And, you know, I didn't even really like succulents too much until he got me involved. And once I started planting them, I found them really exciting and really well adapted to the low elevations here.
Yeah.
And
Kaz really actually physically planted this garden.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember coming here when you were building, and he was on his okole digging holes in this mini yeah?
Yeah.
So this is the result.
He was the inspiration, and a lot of the, you know, like he wanted us to do the crown of thorns for the dash of color, and the desert rose bring in a lot of color. And so we have several different groups of plants here. The latest thing Kaz inspired me about would be the golden barrel cactus. We brought a bunch of those in, a big container of those. And so that's our latest addition, which we just planted some of those this year here in the landscape. So this landscape's really only, 2 or 3 years old, right? So it's really grown a lot. It's a low maintenance landscape. It uses, it's very drought tolerant. We hardly water this at all, and we didn't have to water it too much ever, maybe in the beginning when you first plant them, but it's amazing how drought tolerant it is, how low maintenance it is, really just controlling the weeds. And if you put a mulch down, you're really not going to have too much problem. It's so adapted for a lot of the lower elevations that we're dealing with.
I like the crown of thorns, the Euphorbia melii. That's from Madagascar as well, that island where the lemurs jump from plant to plant and they don't seem to get poked. I don't understand how they can do that, but that's really an awesome plant. I see something that's my favorite now. Check it out right there. Look at that red aloe.
Yep. I don't know the species of that, but yeah, it turns really red. We have one up above that's even more red.
This is my favorite.
So when you have this in the sun, I know this because I took one in the shade up at my house because it was so beautiful. It turns green again.
Okay, so it's a sun lover. Kind of like that red bromeliad, that likes it in the sun but turns green in the shade.
Yeah, so it really turns bright red. I have a more red one up there.
That's my favorite now.
Yeah.
All right, let's go that way.
And then, so then there's a lot of different, over here you have agaves, this is one in flower, agave desmediana. There's several different varieties, which I'll show you in a second. That's agave desmediana, ivory star. There's several varieties that come from other parts of the world that they've bred to have different colors, and I'll show you guys that more later. In the background, I really like that agave blue flame.
Oh yeah, it looks like a flame, doesn't it?
Kaz used that one on a job, and it was up on a like a terrace of a rock wall, and it looked really beautiful, real elegant.
It has that.
Yeah.
Like a green flame.
Yeah, and behind it is the agave Americana variegated. That's a nice, backdrop.
That's a gnarly one. That can get really big.
It gets nuts.
I've seen them really big before.
It gets nuts. And then here's an interesting one we just planted. But this one behind the skinny little one we planted last week, that's actually related to that that first Furcrea, that's a Furcrea McDougalii.
You only have one?
No, we have a whole bunch up there.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so we'll look at those up in the nursery when we go up there. We have a few Dracaena Dracos in the background, like we had in the other front of our nursery. And then the other thing that's really colorful right there, the variegated yucca.
Oh, yeah.
That one is nice. It blooms a big inflorescence, and it doesn't die after it blooms. Like some
Like the
agaves die after.
Like this
they
is
bloom.
almost done right here, right?
Yeah.
And that one's Paul.
Yeah.
Maki already, yeah?
Yep. This is called Blue Glow. I really like that one because it's short and it looks really nice.
Compact, yeah.
Yeah, real compact.
Yeah.
And it looks good with the blue flame behind it too. Yeah.
I've never seen so many succulents in a display like this where you really can see the beautiful varieties when they're side by side. If you see one, you go, oh, okay, yeah, it's a succulent, but
Ooh. Well,
what a nice spread.
Yeah, when you're planting a landscape, you want to go for different shapes and forms, like the tall, skinny one, the short one, the colorful one.
Mm-hmm.
All the different shapes really lend to the uniqueness of the landscape. Agave Desmediana, the different forms of it. This one that Kalhani is touching is called Ivory Star.
Like it.
Yeah, that's my favorite color because it's really beautiful.
It's variegated.
Yeah.
Hopahowdy like me.
Yeah, variegated. Well, all these ones are variegated. There is an all green one which I didn't bring. This one is like that one, the more common one. But this one is just Agave Desmediana variegated. This one is called Agave Desmediana Silver Star. So that's Ivory Star, Silver Star, and this one's called Joe Hoke. So these are all just
cultivars.
Yeah, cultivars.
Right? Yeah.
Cultivars that are in the nursery trade now. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I just brought this one because Agave Tequiliana.
Tequila?
Yeah.
Tequila.
Cause these is kind of a little bit junk, but
hey, it makes tequila.
It is kind of a bigger plant, but it does.
It's a big deal.
It does create a lot of keiki, and it's what they make tequila out of.
Cool. Never saw that before.
Yeah.
And what's that?
This is a Yucca Rostrata.
Oh, that's the one you were showing over there, that newer one.
Actually, no. We're just going to plant this one. We don't have this one in the ground yet.
Oh, so you don't have a lot of that.
It just was over here ready to plant. We just haven't planted.
Oh, wow.
It yet. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
New stuff coming.
So we also grow a lot of fruit trees in pots. But while we're here, I wanted to show you this Raposa mango in the ground. It has fruit on it. And we grow a lot of mangoes in larger pots and a lot of different citrus and other exotic fruits. So we're just getting started on growing, more edible trees, basically. And we have a lot of those we'll show you up in our nursery.
You can see it's a graft. There's a graft over there.
Yeah, this is a popular mango.
Specimen.
And I have these actually available in, smaller pots too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go see.
Okay.
One of the focuses that we're going to do for this conference coming up in 2026 is to really feature our growers of Hawaii Island, those people providing for the industry, but also another angle is to cover the edible landscape. And what we have here, at our friend's home and business where they're still working on it, they actually are living it by putting in fruit trees early. So we have a baby ulu. What is that? Avocado?
That's little cotto.
Oh, little cotto.
Yeah, dwarf avocado.
So baby cotto, and then you got citrus over there.
Yeah.
So
Lime, lemon, and orange.
awesome. So this is kind of like going to be like the doggy hangout area and the food garden, right? Edible landscape, man.
In construction.
What do we got here, Diane?
So these are all our mango trees in larger pots. I have a lot of different big mangoes. R2E2, Keat, White Peary, what else? Golden Glow. Those are the ones
So they're written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I have in the 10-gallon pot. So I have a pretty good variety of those, and we also have them in 5-gallon as well. These are all grafted mangoes, ready to go.
Cool.
Yeah. And then over here we have a lot of different citrus, lemons, limes, Washington Navel, improved Meyer lemon, Tahitian lime, Lane's late dwarf orange.
And I see avocados.
The whole row of little cados, which is a dwarf avocado that I have a lot of, and it's a good avocado for small, landscapes, because it only gets like 10 to 15 feet. And so that's a nice size for the homeowner.
The edible landscape.
So so that's a nice. Avocados are kind of hard to find now, so they're hard to come by. They're just in demand right now. So, but we're always special ordering plants for people too. So if we don't got it, we can find it for you, or try to. Yeah, so I have a lot of citrus, a lot of avocados. We have olives in the back. We got some ulu. More mangoes in the smaller pots right here. And, this is something we're just moving into. And this is, our new nursery down here. And so we started some citrus in 5-gallon too, some finger limes and tangerines, tangelos. So we're really developing our fruit trees, and we want to keep doing that. Yep, making edible landscapes. These are grafted.
Oh, wow.
Those too.
Grafted?
Yeah.
So they're grafted to what? The base is the common.
Yep.
Are they going to be multiple colored ones?
Yeah, like they're kind of suffering a little bit now, but so there's a lot of red. Where do you get red? This deep red.
That's like a double flower too. Look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
That's different than the one that was at the gate. Yeah.
So, these are all grafted, and they're just growing out. Here's another. There's some real unique colors here. And and then we'll show you some of our. Yep.
Those red things.
Calico. Yeah, calico. These are desert rose, our taller desert rose. These aren't grafted. These are seedling varieties. So this gives you some color in the, in the xeriscape, landscape. So it's a nice thing. We have all different variety colors. In the front there, we first showed you was the grafted ones. These are all, those are seedling. I think these might be tissue culture on this side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Looks like a little Medusa there.
One of the plants we really had luck, and I've only had this nursery down here for a year, but we've really had luck with papaya. Wow. This papaya is about a year old. And this is the UH Sunrise papaya.
Wow.
So we're talking 1 year old, and this land here at the bottom of this Hualalai mountain is very fertile because of all the silt that washed down over the years. So I literally don't have rocks here. But it does grow really good papayas.
Ty McDonald, our University Extension Services agent, says there's the Holy Trinity. If every yard could have these three things, the avocado, the papaya, and the banana.
Oh, nice.
The Holy Trinity. If you have those three things, you're eating. Always.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got two.
I have bananas, but I just don't have them here right now. Yeah, so we can talk about that.
Yeah. This looks like something cool.
It's called Mongave Waterfall, which Mongave is a cross from Manfreda and agave, and it's a totally, something that they created.
It's a genetically produced agave cross between a
Manfreda and an agave, and there's several varieties of these that are really cool.
Oh, that's my favorite plant again.
There it is. That's some more red. It's a little more stressed in the sun, the red aloe. And they say alloy here. Yep. La Moreniana, octopus agave. Here's a tree aloe, another tree. And I want to really work into growing succulents in larger pots. Like I think that they could be really, showcased and
Indoor plants?
No, outside, like around pools and
okay.
big fancy pots. Like we've got a little start to some over here.
I see.
These
Ghost agave, ghost.
This one is called Ray of Light.
Ray of light.
Agave attenuata, which is that's the common agave, and then this is the variety of it, Ray of Light. And I like that one. I really love this one. Yeah. It just looks beautiful in the landscape. And we have a lot of, larger specimens of that one. We have smaller ones, every different size. Wow. I think it's a nice landscape plant. And then
I see the barrels.
Yeah, well, the barrels are interesting. This is this row here. This is the Furcrea McDougallii, which grows upright, really upright, and it's the same one that we looked at, the same genus that we looked at in the entryway. Oh, okay. So it's amazing we can put them side by side. They're really different. Yeah. And then a row of aloe trees.
Do you grow the regular aloe when you burn your body?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah. This is the one that's related to that tall one. So they look really different, right?
Yeah.
They look really different.
Right.
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah. So yeah, this is our golden barrel. We actually brought in a whole huge container of these, and these are hard to find in the islands, and they're really a unique, succulent. And this is Flynn's idea we're gonna put a lot of these in the ground and grow them up, but we were trying to figure out how we could do it without having all the weeds come up around it. So we came up with Flynn came up with this plan whereby we cut pukas in the weed cloth and we dig them in. So this is our kind of experimental plot of them, but I don't see why it's not going to work. Yeah. Because you don't want to be weeding around these pokey plants. So.
No.
So these are hard to find in all the Hawaiian Islands because we looked for them, because Kaz really wanted to feature them. He's a landscape architect, and he really wanted to feature them in his landscape. And so we brought them in a 40-foot container.
Were they expensive?
Yeah. Oh. They're slow growing. They're very slow growing. They're expensive. It's expensive to ship them here. Yeah. But we'll be growing them all in the ground and have field stock available, ones in pots, and they're beautiful.
How do they look in their biggest form? Like an average big one, how big would it be?
They can get bigger than that. Yeah, you see them like this big, yeah. So they can.
I don't see them much.
If you go south, on the way south, there's a few big ones in different places. Yeah, there are some big ones in the landscape. Yeah.
So basically, succulents, you really got to pay attention when you're around them, or you'll get poked.
They're 3 feet high and about 2 foot across.
3 feet high, yeah. And so, so down at this lower elevation, I want to point out we're mostly growing plants that are, heat tolerant and low water use. And at our other location, we grow, all kinds. We really specialize in just landscape plants in general. But right now, we have our, our hardy stuff down here in the hot sun.
Well, thank you, Dianne, for showing your beautiful nursery to us, and for all the years you've been involved with this industry. How many years have you been running your nursery?
36 years.
36 years. You were one of the original board members on the HILA board too, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Wow. Well, I don't know about original, but I was there with Kaz and Garrett Webb. And
let me ask you a question. Is there any comments you would like to make about the landscape industry of today, or make any suggestions that would be helpful for you meeting your goals?
Well, I'd like to say, one, support local. 2, all our plants are grown in the hot Kona sun. It's ready for this landscape here. And I'd like to see a little more collaboration between the landscape architects and the growers, because I know, for instance, what I have are a lot of unique plants that I don't think are available, but I don't have the word out to the landscape architects. So I'd like to see us work more together and try and showcase, because I know all over this island there's some incredible growers, and we have a lot to offer. And to just get that word out there to the architects so they can see what there really is
What
to
there
offer
really
and what's
is.
available here on this island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for sharing. Come here, hon.
Yeah.
Watch
Aw.
out for the barrel.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you.
All right.
Okay.
Aloha.